Common Sense, Act 4. BP, not government, covered up the spill reports. Here we go again. I've entitled this fourth act of Common Sense, BP and the lies that they're telling. It seems to me that, imagine for a minute if you will, an oil company, an oil conglomerate who basically controls most of the oil intake in the United States of America, deciding that they wanted to drill offshore in the Gulf region. Now, there's some important things that had to take place before that was approved. One of those things that had to take place was, first of all, the campaigning. And I'm sure you remember the campaign mantra of the Republican Party, drill, baby, drill. Every time you listened to the TV, all you heard was drill, baby, drill. On the other hand, you had a president who studied the information and said he didn't think it was a good time to do drilling offshore. There were too many unknowns, he said. However, he eventually capitulated to the wishes of the Republican Party. Not the majority, but the Republican Party. Okay? Because politics makes strange bedfellows. Anyway, other things took place as well. So you see, the EPA requires that reports are submitted by oil companies on plans that they have on drilling, and also the backup plans that they have in case there's an oil spill. Okay? You following me so far? I hope so. Well, according to the records, BP oil officials sent in reports stating that they were ready and prepared to address any spill that may have taken place, including a blowout preventer. Now, fast forward to the time on the oil rig. There were conversations between managers and BP oil officials. One person's goal was to drill and get closer to their profits. The other managerial staff, their goal was to ensure the safety of the people on the vessel. Guess who won? Of course, BP oil and capitalism, of course. Against the wishes of the managerial staff that said that it seemed to them that the blowout preventer was laboring and that they should shut down the entire operation temporarily until they find out what's wrong and then resume it. That would be the safe precaution. However, weaker heads dominated and they continued on. Boom! Here comes an explosion. The oil rig sinks. Several people die. Families are impacted. And now we have an oil spill at the bottom of the ocean. Would you please tell me, how is it that after BP was involved every step of the way, misguided the federal government on the plan that they had to back up any prevention of any oil spill that may have taken place, not knowing that this would become an inevitability? Tell me, how is it that we're sitting there for weeks at a time watching oil gush out of this well by BP's negligence and by BP's going against managerial advice? Out of all of that, how did this become a cover-up by the federal government? Can somebody please explain that to me? Because for some reason, I've been scratching my head. I've been trying to figure out how in the world did this become the problem of the federal government? The federal government had absolutely nothing to do with this. The federal government was not drilling. The federal government did not have any rigs out there. The federal government did not have to ask for permits. The federal government did not have to submit any reports. The federal government only had to read and approve the drilling. That is their role. Then they had to come and clean up the mess after BP decided, Tony Hayworth, that he wanted his life back. Well, they had to come in and clean up everything. And all of a sudden, our president was not doing enough, okay, according to the governor of Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, and he needed to do more. The question I have for you, Mr. Jindal, is if the president needed to do enough and didn't do enough to address the oil spill, why is the Ninth Ward in Louisiana still laying in ruin while you're still the governor of Louisiana? Maybe you can answer that for us. And if you can't answer that, then explain to me why the Republican Party chose Louisiana as the spot where they will have their shindig, their Republican National Convention, where they just partied it up, had lap dances, got drunk, danced on tables, had lampshades on their heads, and had a whooping good time. Tell me, why did you choose Louisiana? With so much ruin, so much debauchery, and so much work to be done in that area. I tell you why. Because you don't give less than a care about Louisiana and its plight, which goes to the heart of the Republican Party. If you're not making $250,000 or above, they could care less about you. If you're making billions like BP Oil, what they will gladly do is reverse the blame, absolving them of any responsibility and somehow trying to place it on the federal government. That's why I'm here, to explain to you that it was not the federal government who covered it up. It was BP Oil. This is your favorite person, Thomas Paine, signing off and telling you, as I always do, America, think for yourself and do your own research.